All right, folks, our friends over at Strava Craft Coffee are upping the ante. They said, you know what? We haven't been getting enough conversions lately, so let's up the number a little bit. Let's take it from DNVR 20 to DNVR 25. That's 25% off your next order of Strava Craft Coffee, which is, again, up from 20% like it was before. And this stuff is delicious. This is CBD infused coffee that will help you with so many different ailments. It's different for everyone, so you got to check out their reviews. See what maybe you might be dealing with that it could help you with. We're talking chronic headaches, maybe just little aches and pains in the morning. Maybe you don't like the jitters that you get from coffee. Well, that CBD infusion can really take care of a lot of different stuff. So make sure, again, you go to StravaCraftCoffee.com and use the code DNVR25 at checkout. You can even subscribe and choose how often you want it sent straight to your door. It's Strava Craft Coffee. All right, welcome in to another edition of Ring Circus. RK here, joined by Zac and Mase. We have a very special guest today, don't we, Zac?
Oh, we do. Let's bring him in right now. Let's talk to the one and only Benjamin Allbright. Ben, what's going on, my friend?
Not that guy again. Oof. I have to ask really quick. I love the cartoon characters on the title card on the opener, but Zac, how did they get like a sexier, younger Lyle Lovett for your picture?
I guess I know what I can look into for the future.
Ben, I got an email today that from an anonymous source that just said Mike Silver will never be joining this show. Do you have any reason why? Any idea why I might have gotten that?
I don't know. I don't know why you would have gotten that. I'll just say this. My growing up, silver medals were always for second place people.
I'm here for the chaos.
And you almost rocked the gold today, just in honor of that.
Well, I grew up and my favorite band was Tom Petty. My favorite quarterback was Bryce Petty. My favorite race car driver was Richard Petty. So
you're next in line. All right. So what we have here today is a game of Jeopardy, which might be topical. Considering, there he is, look at that guy. Considering the big number one topic in Broncos country. So while we couldn't get Aaron Rodgers to host this version of Jeopardy, we do have Zac Stevens, who I think is better at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So, guys, let's jump in to Jeopardy. I'm your host, Aaron Rodgers. I'm Zac Stevens. And Ben, let's put you through the ringer here. Our three categories today. We have Aaron Rodgers himself. We have men's fashion. And we have draft class, all $100, $200, and $300. Ben, we got some questions for you, and I think you'll be giving us some information in those questions too. So how would you like to start, Ben?
I was looking for potent potables here, but I think we'll have to go with men's fashion for 100.
Men's fashion. Okay. Who wore this outfit?
Oh, my God.
And you can also judge the fashion style while you're looking at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if that's me. No, I don't. That looks like somebody. I lost the picture there. I don't know. I have no idea. Is Kevin Durant? I don't know.
Oh,
that was my guess.
So close. He would be offended that you guessed Kevin Durant, though, because it's his old friend, Russell Westbrook.
Damn,
I guess,
that's crazy.
Wow.
I'm looking
what do you
forward
think
to
of
those
that fashion, Ben?
jeans. Well, the drawstring jeans already, you don't have the belt up there. That's no good. You've got the whatever that overhang is that's obfuscating the shoes. And then, I don't know exactly why with the upper half, we went with a stunt double for sparring partner that gets his butt kicked in Rocky IV. But, hey, look, it also works if you want to go down and sling cases of fish down at the docks. So I guess it's a versatile outfit.
I think
Wow,
Ben
that
has to
is
be a-
fantastic.
I feel like Ben has to be a fan of the long sleeves with the holes for your thumbs.
I mean, look, if anything says function over form, like thumb holes, Russ Westbrook's got that.
What's crazy
All
about
right.
that photo to me is that if you cover up an NBA player's face, you just see how tall they are. Like, it looks like Kevin Durant because of how tall and long he is. He's a guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you could see right away that was definitely somebody who played basketball. But other than that, I had no idea.
All right, let's see what do you want to go with now?
Let's stay with it. Let's go with men's fashion for 200.
Oh, let's do it. All right, who is this, and what do you think of their fashion?
Oh, wow. That might be worse, and I still have no idea who it is. Let's see.
Do you know
Let's
where it
go
is?
Yeah,
It
to
looks
help
like-
you out, look
yeah.
at the scene.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's here. I'm pretty sure that's a Broncos player.
Ding, ding, ding.
But I'm not sure which one. I'm going to go with Will Parks here, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Incredible. What gave it away, Ben?
I happen to know that Will owns that jacket.
I mean, if you get to Broncos and then you just think like who has the most outlandish fashion sense, you go to Will Parks and then you get sad that he's now in Kansas City.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, we're going to have to see him twice a year.
Oh man, that's tough. And then also you got Chris going to the Chargers, you got Will going to the Chiefs. I mean, what is it about Broncos defensive backs that just want to stick in the AFC West?
I guess they really, really still want to hang around the Broncos.
Maybe. I mean,
exactly.
do you
All right,
have
Ben,
to,
you want
do you have to worry
go
about do you have to worry about Kareem Jackson a year from now going to the Raiders then?
Oh, at least it's not Justin. At least it's not Justin.
Yes.
Don't hurt my heart like that.
All right, Ben, you want to go for the clean sweep to start it off with men's fashion?
Yeah, let's finish out the category. Looking for the daily double here.
Oh, I know who that is.
Oh yeah.
Who
Oh,
could
my.
this
Yes, I know who
be?
that is. Contrary to popular belief, that is not actually me. That is John Elway.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful. This is one of my favorite photos of all time. I mean, he's got is that Louis Vuitton bag? He's got the short shorts. The chest is looking good. I mean, what do we think of this outfit, Ben?
Well, we got the shorts that are going to mid thigh there, making sure we're showing off a little of the muscle tonage. We've got the loafers with no socks, which that's going to leave a fun aroma in the room a little bit later. The hair well coiffed, the collar semi popped, but you got the glasses tucked as well. This right here is the pinnacle of men's fashion in 1985.
Yeah. It's not really a functional outfit for being on a plane, though. I mean, that looks like he's just getting off the plane there. I mean, is this unpleasant for the other passengers? Maybe if he slipped one of those loafers off mid-flight.
Yes, definitely unpleasant because nothing screams fun foot odor like leather loafers with no socks and foot sweat.
Is that his mom there that he's with?
No,
I'm pretty sure
Janet.
it's not.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's his former wife, Janet.
Oh, my apologies. What do you think about the matching
Wow.
bags with your wife?
Oh,
That feels like a wife decision there. I don't think that John Elway is much of a follower. I always thought of him as a leader. So I feel like this is a wife decision here that we're going to do cute matching bags, honey.
and to appease the wife, you say yes. I from what I
Absolutely.
understand.
Absolutely. If you've ever been married before, that's exactly what you do. Now, my marriage came with a few voidable years on the back end, but that's kind of how that works.
I'm of the belief that John Elway's the kind of guy to buy a gift for someone and get himself the same thing. I think that's what happened here. He got his wife that bag, and then he was like, "Wait, I want one of these too," and then they just happened to both use it for that trip.
I like where your head is at. I could believe that. I could buy that story.
All right, Ben, where do you want to go now? You swept men's fashion. Where are we going now?
I'll take Aaron Rodgers for 100.
I love it. This date marks the expected ending of the Aaron Rodgers trade saga.
What is 2nd of June, 2021?
Ooh, so we don't have to wait into the long summer to find out. I love that, Ben. So my question to you is, well, maybe we should go through these questions first to see where you're at with all of this, and then react after.
Okay.
You want to hit 200?
Yeah, let's knock the category out.
All right, Ben. This date marks. We just did that one.
So it's the daily double in terms of questions.
Exactly. While producer Kale pulls it up, I can probably also pull it up as well. Well, you know what, Ben? We'll just start with that. Why June 2nd? Why do you think it happens right when that date with the contract comes around?
Well, I answered that mostly for this show in the form of that date. The reality is a trade cannot be executed, or at least cannot be finalized. It could be agreed to in parameters, but you need the post-June 1 designation in order to provide any sort of cap relief at all for Green Bay. So a trade of Aaron Rodgers makes absolutely no sense before June 1, simply because it totally messes them up in terms of a cap situation. So that's the reason that we say June 2nd. It could drag on further than that. It could be agreed to before then, but that's just the arbitrary date we pick out because of the NFL salary cap rules regarding June 1st.
What would the salary cap impact on the Broncos be post June 1?
I have to go back and look at the exact numbers. I don't have those in front of me off the top of my head. They have enough room to absorb it. I know I've done the math on this before. I just don't have it in front of me. I apologize.
Looks like Ben's cutting in and out on us a little bit there.
I'm sorry.
Are we ready? We lost you for a second, but I think we got you back now.
Oh, I said, okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I apologize. I know the Broncos can absorb Aaron Rodgers' contracts, but I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. All right, Kale, let's pull up the next one that we have here along Aaron Rodgers, the other one that we have, if we've got that pulled up here. Let's see. All right. Aaron Rodgers takes the first snap of the 2021 season with this team.
Oh man, you guys are putting me on the spot with that one. The answer is either Green Bay or Denver. I think if they get something worked out, in Green Bay, and there's a path to that, it's not impossible. I would say improbable at this point, but not impossible. So I'm going to go out, since we're on the we're doing the DNVR here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Denver Broncos.
Hey, wow. love to hear it. And Ben, now over the last 24 hours, there's kind of been a little more talk of maybe Green Bay can salvage this. What needs to happen in order for that to happen?
Well, you need to have Brian Gutekunst get on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. You need to get those guys in the same room and have a come to Jesus meeting. Aaron Rodgers feels a bit disrespected by the Green Bay Packers in the sense that he feels like that he's asked for certain things and they haven't done that, and he feels like they've hung him out to dry at certain points. He'd go out in the media and he'll talk about players like Jake Krumero and how great they are and vital to the team, and then the Packers cut him the next day, or they cut his buddy Jordy Nelson without letting him know, or they draft a quarterback ostensibly as replacement in the first round after he just took him to the NFC Championship game and is begging for a receiver that can get open. So, I think that's part of it. The other part is, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be in there grinding the tape or anything like that, but he does want some input on, hey, these are some team needs. These are the things I need to be successful. And the Green Bay Packers since 2011 have drafted 2 offensive players in the first round. One of those is offensive tackle Derek Sherrod out of Mississippi State, who started 1 game for the Packers, and the other is Jordan Love, ostensibly his replacement. So, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you say, what do I got to do? Look, I can only make Marquez Valdes-Scantling look so good before I run into problems. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're looking for some better talent around you, and you're saying, hey, look, I can get us to the championship game. Get me a few pieces that'll push us past that. Let's get ourselves a ring.
Realistically, though, what on Rodgers' end in particular, what are the chances that his feelings kind of thaw? When it comes down to it, you look at Aaron Rodgers being somebody who literally hasn't talked to his parents in several years.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that kind of when he makes up his mind on something, that's it. And you need to look at his family relationships, and you kind of see that he's just kind of that guy. Like once he's crossed you off the list, he's crossed you off the list. And so there's a path here to reconciliation, but like I said, I think it's improbable. I put it at 55-45 that he's a Bronco next year. Was it yesterday or day before? But I talked to somebody. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they looked at me like I was selling it short, and it had it at 65%. So I think I wanted to get him the extra 10% just to get a 75 out of it, but I couldn't quite get him that far. So I think most people think the lean is that he leaves, and that's probably the best way to put that. I will say that there was some reporting out there that there was a deal, it was all but agreed to, and all this kind of stuff. That stuff is totally false. In fact, at the point that was tweeted, the Broncos had not even talked to the Green Bay Packers, and the back channel stuff wasn't even, hadn't even been put in place. So there's some premature stuff out there. But I'll say this: that from my understanding of it, talking to all the parties involved, is that there's a lean that Aaron Rodgers wants the Broncos, and the Broncos, and I can tell you from his camp, he wants it.
Can you confirm that his favorite artist is Tom Petty, his favorite quarterback is Bryce Petty, and his favorite race car driver is Richard Petty?
I can confirm those are all my favorites, and I recognize a fellow Petty stan, so I would suggest that you're probably in the ballpark.
And since we're talking about this, I'm going to throw the final one, the final question of the Aaron category at you. This trade package gets a deal done for Aaron Rodgers.
The hypothetical that I've said is that you probably build around is something like 2 firsts, a mid-round pick, Teddy Bridgewater, and the reason you include Bridgewater there and not Locke is because Bridgewater's the bridge quarterback, no puns intended. Whereas Locke's a developmental guy, they already have a developmental guy in Love, so that's the reason you include Bridgewater there. So 2 firsts, a mid, Teddy Bridgewater, probably a receiver. You're kind of hoping it's Deshaun, but they're probably going to ask for more than that. And then an ascending defensive player on a rookie deal, whether that's like a Draymond or a Chubb or something like that. I will tell you the one thing that won't happen is this whole like Patrick Surtain, Eric Stokes thing. That doesn't even make any sense from a salary cap perspective for either team. So that won't be it. Like that, Pat Surtain won't be in that deal.
So do you think there's a chance, Ben, that it is those picks that you said, and then Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy and a Bradley Chubb or Draymond Jones? Are we looking that big of a package?
I think that's probably the extreme high. What I tried to give was kind of the middle of the road deal. Maybe they get away with something a little cheaper. Maybe they get may cost a little more. I don't think you're going to see you wouldn't see a Chubb and Sutton deal. I don't think you'd see that. But you might see one or the other. You get one of those is going to be the mid receiver and then the star defensive player, or the star receiver and then the mid defense. Something like that. I don't think you're going to see 2 players that are at the top of the marquee like that.
And Ben, I think all 3 of us, whichever one of those players it is, we take that deal. But I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, you can't trade Cortland Sutton, you can't trade Bradley Chubb. And those guys are great players. That's why they're being included in this trade for a Hall of Fame quarterback. But you're trading for a Hall of Fame quarterback, so it's okay to lose a Pro Bowl wide receiver, a Pro Bowl pass rusher. I mean, are you on the same wavelength there?
Sort of. In this particular case, yes, I would be. However, I'll say this. The attraction to the job here for Aaron Rodgers is all the young talent on offense. So I would suggest that the Broncos would probably be more willing to part with defensive pieces than offensive pieces in this particular case, and hope that the defensive coach that they have hired, who has shown himself to be one of the brighter minds in the league, would be able to coach up that defense.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement on that, and I know a lot of people disagree with us there, but how funny would it be for Broncos fans to go from like this defensively powered team, that's just trying to scrape up 24 points a game, to this team now that's given up one of their top defensive pieces to go score like 35, 40 points a game?
Yeah, it would be interesting. But the Broncos have done that before. I mean, we saw the pendulum swing from the other direction, from Peyton Manning being, with the Star Wars numbers, despite noted boat anchor for an offense, Adam Gase being in charge, to the Super Bowl unit that was all defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would have made this offensive pivot a little faster.
We
Gotta
all
walk through the
deserve it.
desert
That's
sometimes,
for sure.
RK, to get to make it to the oasis.
That's true. This would be the ultimate oasis.
All right, Ben, let's talk about the draft class, and let's do it in the form of a couple Jeopardy questions. You want to go 1, 2, or 300?
Let's start low and work our way up.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, real quick,
yes.
Ben, we're going to need you to answer these in the correct format, or else you will not receive the dollars that you've been winning.
Oh, okay.
All right, for $100, he was the best value of Denver's draft.
Who is Quinn Meinerz?
You just got $100 there, Ben. Very, very good. Tell me why you like the D3 tree mowing offensive lineman.
Well, some people are going to say the safety Johnson is that answer, but I'm going with Quinn here. Quinn was a guy I was banging the table for. He's an absolute monster. I'll tell you this: his coaches tipped me off to him back in 2019, and the quote that they used was, "This guy eats people," and you can see from the tape that he does. You go back and look at the tape, and granted, he's tossing around future insurance salesman, but we would go down to the Senior Bowl, and I see this guy like absolutely slaughtering actual competition, and it wasn't even a thing. He wasn't even breaking a sweat then either. He's got the effort, he's got the drive, he's got the attitude, and then off the field, I mean, the man is marketing his own belly as a shirt. That's a blue chip prospect right there with upper management written all over him. I think there's everything to like about him. He's personable, he's good at his job, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stole and I say stole, just takes the job at center. He's got versatility all along the interior line. You can play him at guard, you can play him at center. I would not be surprised if day one he was the starting center for the Denver Broncos in game one.
Day one of 2021. Is that right?
I would not be surprised if week one of this coming season, Quinn Meinerz was the starting center for the Denver Broncos.
Wow.
That would be impressive.
Wow. I mean, and here I was thinking he didn't play last year. When he went to the Senior Bowl, literally his first action in 13 months, thought that might mean a little bit of a developmental path for Quinn Meinerz.
He's just well rested.
Yeah.
Fresh legs.
True.
Wow. I mean, if the Broncos got him and he's your starting center, then that's absolutely fantastic pick to trade back in the third round and still pick him up. Wow, that would be huge. I'm really keeping my eyes on him because just like Mase said, I thought he was more of a very high upside guy for the future. Man, I love that, Ben. All right, let's get your opinion on this $200 question. He will have the biggest impact for the Broncos this year.
This is a really good question because it really depends on two things. Now, I know that Vic Fangio wants to go with more 6 DB looks. So I think the answer is going to be Patrick Surtain, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Williams, at the running back, especially if Melvin Gordon stumbles out the gates like he did last year with some fumbles. Now, Melvin was great down the stretch, but in the early games, he had some adjustments and had some fumbles, and it wasn't great for him. So if Melvin Gordon starts slow, wouldn't be surprised to see if it's Williams. I'm going to put my name and say, who is Pat Surtain?
I love it. And speaking of Surtain, which I love that answer, Ben, we know that Vic is going to try to do more 5 and 6 defensive back sets to get all that talent on the field, but I don't buy that Pat Surtain is going to be the 6th defensive back. I don't really even buy that he's going to be the 5th. I mean, what role do you think he ends up having this year, and how does he climb the depth chart if he does this year?
Well, they'll move him around. And the idea is that he is actually going to be the tight end matchup for Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, guys like that because of his length. The idea is they tried running safeties. They tried running linebackers on these guys. It didn't work. They tried bracketing them. Didn't work. So the idea now is put a corner on him and keep him from catching the football. And Pat Surtain's great at that. He's good in his disrupting. It's part of the reason you bring Darby in too. Darby doesn't get a lot of interceptions, but he's disruptive with the deflections. And so the idea is you can use these guys, match up with these mismatched tight ends and knock the ball away. And then you don't have to worry about if they're a great tackler or not because they never caught the ball to begin with. So I think that he's going to be he'll be outside. They'll start the season with Fuller and Callahan if he's healthy, and and Darby as the corners. But they'll rotate Surtain through, and Fuller and Callahan will be the inside guys, and Darby and Surtain will be the outside guys.
I love that. At 6'2", 208, that's a guy that can absolutely match up with tight ends. I absolutely love that for Vic Fangio this year.
Yeah, and it gives you the idea, because I asked Vic about it after the draft, and he kind of chastised me a little for calling it dime because he doesn't want to call it dime. He just, he's just like, we call it the 6 DB package, and we'll rotate guys through there. Sometimes it'll be more of a heavy dime, heavy nickel look. Sometimes it'll be a true, so they've got some versatile packages and stuff they want to deploy this year. I think it's going to be interesting to see as Vic Fangio continues to set the curve, as it were, for defenses. We had the cover 2 that was popular in the early 2000s. The cover 3 kind of took over for a while, and now that Vic Fangio quarters match defense is really kind of vogue in the NFL now, and it'd be interesting to see how he innovates off that.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really funny how Vic also doesn't like to call it the slot cornerback either.
Right.
What you're telling me, he's in practice, he's like, all right, let's run the 6 DB package, boys. Let's run the 6 DB. Why doesn't he want to call it dime?
I don't know. Vic, you know how he is, and he's a funny guy. And he might have just been messing with me because that's what he does sometimes. But when we were talking to him, he just he kind of get that twinkle in his eyes. He's like, I don't know if it's true dime, but I'm like, oh, okay, all right, we're gonna play this game now. So.
That reminds me of when Wade Phillips was very adamant that sending 5 is not a blitz.
Correct. Yes. Of course, for Wade Phillips, I don't think sending 8 is technically a blitz either. I think that's just normal play.
Yeah, he's like, 0 coverage. That's our base defense.
Right. You're not wrong.
And when he calls an all-out blitz, it's actually 11 guys coming in.
Somehow there are 12 guys after the quarterback. We can't figure it out still.
Including Wade. He's going after him too.
Right. It's the old Buddy Ryan 4-4-4.
All right, Ben, let's see if you can sweep the board here for 300. He will have the biggest impact for the Broncos in a decade.
Oh, man. How old is Arch Manning right now? I'm just kidding. Out of this draft class, man. Oof. I'll say what is Pat Surtain. He's going to be a great one in the league. I mean, I know it's the obvious answer. I hate to do that, but he will. And I don't know how long, with the running back, I don't know how long your career is going to be. So I'll say who is Pat Surtain on that one. Wouldn't surprise me if Baron Browning turned into something and was a long-term guy like that. Really wouldn't surprise me. But in the end, I just got to go with Pat Surtain. So who is Pat Surtain?
I love it. And Ben, sometimes in Jeopardy, the obvious answers are the right ones. I think that that was the case for that question there. And now I got to ask you about the day 3 picks. You mentioned Jamar Johnson earlier. Is that your favorite day 3 pick, or which one do you like the most of that group?
Not really, actually. My radio partner, Ryan Edwards, who preceded me on this show and lords it over me every day, that was his favorite day 3 pick. But for me, I think my favorite day 3 pick is probably the receiver. If you watch the tape on him, and not because he's just like a stellar receiver. If you watch the tape, smack talkingest receiver you've ever seen. Like, he chirps all the time, like never stops talking, getting in people's heads, and I love it. So for me, that was probably one of my favorites. And then drafting the corner at LSU, the guy's got more rap albums than he does interceptions in his career, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, I like Kari Vincent, the corner from LSU, a lot, though. I mean, he looks kind of like a slot, not a slot corner, a slot guy from Central Casting, right down to being a late round pick, undrafted guy. A lot of your slots are going to come from that pool.
Yeah, I liked him. I didn't really the Cooper, the defensive lineman at Ohio State. I liked him a bit too. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the Broncos got some high upside guys on day 3. Ben, when you're talking about Seth Williams, How in the world is this Broncos wide receiver group going to shake up? Because it seems like they have 10 guys that can legitimately make a roster, and they're probably not going to have 10 spots. How do you see the back end playing out?
Well, it's interesting because Pat Shurmur usually keeps an extra receiver. If you look at roster construction over the years, he's always kind of kept one more than usual than NFL teams do, and you got to figure that's probably Spencer as far as the return game goes. For me, Tyree Cleveland is kind of the ascending guy. So if you're one of these other guys, you got to beat him out. Deshaun looks like the odd man out to me. You can't really carry a wide receiver 5 or 6 who doesn't play special teams particularly well and has a $2.8 million cap hit. So to me, he's the guy that's in the most danger. Your 1 through 4 is set. You're definitely Cortland and Judy and Patrick and Hamler. Those are set. You're really looking at 5, 6, and 7 here. Spencer probably gets one of those on return abilities, at least 2 spots. Now you're looking at Tyree Cleveland and who. And I don't know that you can keep Deshaun Hamilton as wide receiver 7 on a $2.8 million hit.
I don't even think it's an option, to be honest. Like, there's a reason they're shopping him. There's a reason that they hope Green Bay wants him in that deal.
Yeah. No, I agree.
On top of that, what do you think of Stearns? Because he's the one guy I think in that day 3 that we didn't talk about, and I actually think he has a lot of Kareem Jackson to him. Now, definitely not at that caliber yet, but the speed at which he kind of flies around the field back there gives me some Kareem Jackson vibes.
Yeah, he's a rangy high safety. He's got to learn to tackle a little bit better. He's kind of sloppy with the way that he tackles. There's a lot of broken tackles on tape. That's a problem. Vic Fangio, they'll coach that out. Ed Donald, sloppy tackler for long, so they'll coach that out of him. I don't think he's in any danger of being any kind of starter anytime soon. But he's a guy that you come to camp next year, and with Kareem on a 1-year deal, next year maybe you're looking at mirroring him with Justin and that kind of thing. I think this year he kind of learns behind Simmons. I think he's more on that side, and that Johnson's probably on the K-Jack side. But I'd like to see him have a true competition. I'm glad they kind of had an infusion of talent at the position, because they really didn't have any depth behind Justin and K-Jack, before the draft.
On the roster coming back, who were the guys who are kind of the biggest losers because of who the Broncos picked last week?
Royce Freeman. I think Royce is on the way out, and it's a shame because I kind of want to see Royce get a real shot in this offense. I thought this offense fit him a little bit better, but whatever. Royce, Deshaun, both those guys probably gone. If you're looking at the offensive line, Schlotman and probably Patrick Morris is probably the biggest loser there. And then, on the defensive side, most of the guys they got rid of, I think, with Baron Browning, it probably makes Josie expendable. It just really depends on how Sternad looks. Browning can be moved around. He can come downhill. He could play, kind of that Todd Davis role, or you could even put him out there on the edge and have him pass rush. He's really kind of versatile, could do either. So, I think those are probably the guys that lost out. And then you look at, down roster guys at corner, Hairston. I mean, is there a reason to keep him around at this point? I liked Parnell Motley a lot. I thought he showed a lot in limited reps, but when are you going to find a spot for him with all these corners? So those guys are probably the losers.
Yeah, and Ben, my last one for you, not necessarily a big loser here, but how do you see the running back situation unfold with the top 2 guys, with Javonte Williams, and how much does he push Melvin Gordon this year for playing time? And could you see him by the end of the year being the true number 1 for the Broncos?
Well, I think it's a plan. That's a transition plan for next year for sure. I think they'll incorporate him this year. Pat Shurmur's always been kind of a bell cow guy. Always wanted to just kind of go to one guy. So it's going to be interesting to see how they divvy that up. They didn't really divvy it up for Phil last year. Of course, that was a problem because every time you put Phil on the field, you were tipping your hand on what you were doing. But I think early on, you probably go to Melvin and see what he's got. You want to maximize your dollar there. And NFL teams kind of operate with a sunk cost fallacy a lot of times. But I think you start off with Melvin and you kind of incorporate Williams, and you just kind of give him a little bit more at a time. And the more you give him, you see if he's able to handle it. And the more he's able to handle it, you just kind of start making the transition.
Yeah, I personally think, you can't go with that bell cow style if you're going to make it be Melvin Gordon. I mean, you draft a running back in the 2nd round. You've got 4 years here to maximize his value. If you have him be a backup and rarely see the field in his rookie season. Well, now you've wasted one of those 4. So to me, he's going to have to be involved early and often.
I think so. And I think the other part, you got to make like the minute Melvin fumbles, that's going to be the thing, because I tell you, like behind the scenes, the coaches aren't talking about it publicly, but behind the scenes, turnovers were the things that they were like, screaming up and down about last year. And it wasn't just at the quarterback position. So, I think the minute Melvin Gordon fumbles, I think they start giving Williams a bigger workload.
So, speaking of turnovers, then let's say the Rodgers thing doesn't happen and it's Bridgewater and Locke. Who do you expect to be under center week 1?
Well, week 1 of training camp, Drew Lock will be QB1. Like they'll make him either earn it or lose it. And then you go from there. I think in the end, the quarterback that's more careful with the football, and that tends to give Teddy kind of the edge. It really is a question of whether Drew Lock can show enough in training camp to validate the mistakes that he's going to make, at some point. And, I understand a fan base doesn't have a lot of faith in the guy. I just want to give him another shot and see what he can do. And if he can't earn it, he can't earn it. But, Teddy Bridgewater kind of represents the Alex Smith opposite end of the spectrum. He's hyper conservative with the football. Carolina took the ball out of his hands in the red zone because he just didn't have the velocity to make the throws. And his number 1 season throwing touchdown passes was last year, where he had 15. Well, Drew Lock had 16. So Drew Lock only played 12 games. So, with Teddy, you're probably not going to turn the football over, but you're going to wind up with a lot of field goals. And so I think that's the thing is Vic Fangio, Pat Shermer, and staff have to kind of weigh the boom bust potential of Drew Lock and how far he's past those turnovers, if he is, versus the hyper careful, a lot of 3-yard passes out of Teddy Bridgewater, and kind of go from there and see what they feel like is the best way to win football games. And, I think that a coaching staff that's semi on the hot seat probably leans to the quarterback that's more careful with the ball. So Drew needs to cut out the turnovers in camp. Otherwise, it's going to be Teddy.
Yep. I think you're spot on there, Ben. And from the Jeopardy game, Ben, there was $1,800 you could have won. You're walking away with $1,700 of pride. So I hope you feel really good about that, Ben.
That is $1,699 more dollars of pride than I had when I started the day. So I'm off to a good start. We're headed down to Jaguars to spend that on the lunch buffet.
Lovely. All right, Ben. Appreciate you joining us, and at least now you can tell Ryan Edwards that you were tied in appearances,
and $1,700 more pride.
Yeah, it's true. That's
Exactly.
very true.
Thanks so much for joining us, Ben. This was great.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, there he goes. Benjamin Allbright. Very, very interesting insight from him there, as always, guys. What was your biggest takeaway? What was your favorite tidbit?
Well, the thing that just jumped out to me was Quinn Meinerz being the starting center this year. I mean, I knew what he was talking about, but I just had to make sure, because this is the developmental guy of all developmental guys. Didn't play last year, and I like how Ben just says he's well rested, he's ready to go. But of course, the biggest piece that I took from this was Ben saying 55% chance that Aaron Rodgers is a Denver Bronco, 45% chance that he's a Green Bay Packer. He didn't leave any room for another team to come in here, and that just kind of really solidifies what we've been hearing for the past 8 days is Denver, 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 if it's not Green Bay. And so I liked hearing that from him as well. It's not just me being in this Denver bubble with the draft this past week. It really is, Denver or Green Bay.
And it's kind of reflected in the odds right now over at DraftKings, because right now they've got it's 6-4 on the Broncos, 4-6 on the Packers, in terms of where Aaron Rodgers takes his first snap.
I think it's hilarious that you have your odds set that way.
I don't like the whole plus 175 thing.
That's so funny. I feel like it's so much easier.
It is for me too.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does not. That kind of odds presentation doesn't click in my mind at all.
I didn't even know what you had was an option. I was like, is he working on like the UK version of DraftKings?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's because my mother is British and I've just got that. I just got that in me. It's how I'm wired. But yeah,
Wait, Mase, on
yeah.
DraftKings, does it actually show up as 6-4? I just thought every time you've said that, I thought you were converting that in your mind.
You can change the setting on it, because
wow.
I'm seeing this plus 150, plus 175. I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. Just give me 3-1, 4-1. Yeah.
I love that. I love how our brains are different, because to me, that is just so much more difficult.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing also, Ben talked about the guy he spoke with saying 65% that Aaron Rodgers is a Denver Bronco. And look, I mean, he's talked to people. I've talked to people. I mean, I actually feel more strongly now than I did 8 days ago that this thing could really happen. And again, I don't think there's going to be a reconciliation, because it's not really the way Aaron Rodgers is wired. I mean, I think Green Bay would have to foundationally change some things. And this is not an organization that pivots on a dime historically. The Packers tend to operate a little more slowly, carefully, deliberately than most NFL outfits. So that's part of why I think they're going to end up kind of siding, if it's a matter of taking sides, siding with Brian Gutekunst in this thing. The other thing is, you can sort of see how the PR battle is already in play in the back channels, and the Packers are having some success. Literally, when Aaron Rodgers' picture goes up on a screen at a Wisconsin Timber Rattlers minor league baseball game this week down in Appleton, just south of Green Bay, he gets booed. And so it tells me that the Packer that if they're trying to get Aaron Rodgers to be the bad guy among Packer fans, it's working.
Yeah,
makes it easier to make the move.
That is it is something else. And with Aaron Rodgers, guys, we're T-minus like 25 days. So Ben putting it at 55%. Guy he talked to 65%. I want your guys' percentage that Aaron Rodgers is a Denver Bronco. Where are we at today?
So like I go through stages, just like Mase talks about with the stages that the Packers need to go through. But like this is the opposite. What are those? The 5 stages of what is that called?
The 5 stages of grief. The Kubler-Ross
yes.
model.
This is the 5 stages of hype. So like right when the news came down, I was like, it's happening right now. Like there's no stopping this. And then like the cycle kind of died down a little bit, and I went into the stage of like being realistic. And then earlier this week, I went back into the stage of like, screw it, back on the hype train. And now I'm in like the emotional protection stage, where it's like, this is taking a little too long. Maybe I need to pull back the reins a little bit. So I think I got as high as like 85% on draft day, and now I'm right back at 50-50.
50-50. I hate that. You pessimistic Ryan. Guys, well, Mase, I got to get your take first.
Yeah, I mean, the possibility, of course, is if the Packers can reconcile some. The other thing, of course, that's in play. I mean, we talk about 2 possibilities. What if the Packers get stubborn and just say, all right, we will collect the $29.8 million from you if you just go ahead and retire. The thing is, when I think about a team getting to acceptance, even though you don't want to watch that guy go play for somebody else, $29.8 million has value, but every draft pick has value as well. We learned this from the trade the Browns made in 2017, when they basically paid $16 million for a second-round pick. And if that's the case, what is even a late first-round pick worth? $25 million, $30 million? And if you're talking about getting 2 of those in a deal plus whatever player compensation is thrown in, then you step back and say the prudent thing is to make a deal and get more value. And kind of an aside on top of all this, it's not like Green Bay is itching for the cash that they get back from Aaron Rodgers. That's $29.8 million. As of last year, they were sitting on a $411 million cash reserve. Now, they did tap into that because of everything they lost in COVID last year. But the Packers, it's not like they think, oh, we got to have that money back from Aaron Rodgers, unless they're thinking irrationally. If they're thinking rationally, they'll know that on the other side of this pandemic, they have a stadium and a complex there in Green Bay that basically prints money. They'll be able to put more money back into the reserve. What should have more value to them is the draft capital.
So what was
So Mase, great
the
breakdown,
percentage?
but we need the answer.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to say it's 60% that he's a Bronco.
60. Oh my gosh, grumpy Mase over here, guys.
Wait. 60 is on the positive side of this. I'm saying it's more likely than not, and that's grumpy.
Yeah, grumpy.
going on,
And
Zach?
Ryan is just depressing RK today. Guys, I'm at like a floor of 80% here. I wanted to go with
Wow.
75, but I couldn't even bring myself to go down to 75. Guys, what is holding this back? Especially when I hear Ben say, really there's no other team in play here if it's not Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is not a guy that's going to back down. And I think it would just be criminal if the Packers decided to make him retire and value $29 million in cash over 3 firsts. So I don't see that happening. And I just don't see Aaron Rodgers backing down. And maybe I just can't see how this situation gets resolved. So I even feel 20% is crazy, but my 20% is really, I'm giving the San Francisco 49ers a chance to make a play here. If they want to do the win now thing, they'll have a quarterback to offer. And if Green Bay doesn't want Jordan Love, they actually don't believe in him, well, then Trey Lance is more valuable than pretty much whatever the Broncos could offer. So that's just kind of why I'm setting it at 20%.
Yeah, wow. That's all right. I love it. I love that you're that high on this. The question I have is like, the only way they do the retirement thing is just out of pure pettiness, because couldn't they just ask the Broncos and throw in $30 million and the Broncos would just be like, okay.
Can you do that in NFL trades? Can you include cash?
That's a good question. I mean, we see it in baseball all the time. I mean, I've thought about buying a jersey that just says considerations on the back because of cash considerations being thrown in so often. And hey, sometimes you give cash considerations to trade away a Hall of Famer.
Let's not.
Sorry.
All right.
mean, maybe the Packers throw in $30 million. Hey, you take Aaron Rodgers off your hands, and here's $30 million as well. Go nuts.
Speaking of grumpy Mase on this Friday, having to bring in the Nolan Arenado trade.
I know. Maybe the Broncos can throw in some Dogecoin to get the deal done.
Which is going to the moon. Heck, maybe that's more valuable than Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, we are ready to enter the red zone here. We have our guests from the Madden League operating the Carolina Panthers in said Madden League. We've got our guy Logan.
Logan, what's up, brother?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. And Mase, you want to get us started here with the questions?
Yes,
Good
let me cue
luck,
it up here.
Logan.
Of course, we're talking.
Thank you.
My questions are always from the last 5 seasons here. So we're talking recent Broncos history. Question number 1. When was the last time the Broncos went into a game after September with a chance to be above 500?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go way back to December of 2018 when they entered San Francisco.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
That was a tough one, but good job.
I wasn't sure if there would be something more recent than that. Oh my God. So they have never had a chance in the Vic Fangio era, which is the past 2 years.
It's what happens.
Oh my goodness.
Not after September. It's what happens when you start off 0-4 and 0-3.
Yeah, I was going to say they haven't even been close. They haven't even had a chance to get to 500 outside of September.
Wow.
Well, they actually did last year because remember they were 0-3, beat the Jets, had the delay in the Patriots game, beat the Pats, and so they came into that game against Kansas City with a chance to get to 500, and then
that's why I thought they didn't have a chance.
And then
it was against Kansas City,
and then had another chance against Atlanta to get to 500, and then So
Sanders was hurt right before that game, right? Or was that right after? Wasn't that what kind of derailed everything?
Yeah, Sanders and Chris Harris Jr. both had gotten hurt in the previous 7 days.
Yeah.
So
There was so much hope,
Yeah.
too. I mean, I just remember some people in Denver were saying Vance Joseph will be the coach of the year if the Broncos turn this thing around and make the playoffs, and a month later he
Crazy.
was fired.
They were on a 3-game winning streak because they'd beaten the Chargers, Steelers, and Bengals to get to 6-6. And because everyone's thinking like, wow, what if they finish the season on a 7-game winning streak? And yeah,
Didn't happen.
Yeah. Hey, Case Keenum might still be your quarterback if they finish that season on a 7-game winning streak. But I digress.
All right, Logan.
All right.
Gotta have this one to not have to use
my
your
goodness.
lifeline here on the first round.
All
You
right.
got it, Logan. You got it.
All right.
All right. Earlier this week, I mentioned that 17 different players have started at least one game for the Broncos at right tackle since 2014. Among these 17, 2 of them started exactly one game apiece. Both did so in season finales over the last 5 years. Name one of them.
Can you do you guys have the question? Can you reread the question?
Elvin Anderson.
Yeah.
No, because he started twice last year.
But he started once at left tackle, though.
Okay.
So I think that is right.
But he didn't start a season finale. That was part of the question.
All
Oh.
right, okay, reread the question.
Yeah. There were 17 different players starting at least one game at right tackle. Among these 17, 2 started one game apiece in season finales taking place in the last 5 years.
Okay.
So 2 only played in one game, and it happened to be the season finale.
Yes.
Whew. Wow.
It would be like
okay.
Bailey or someone, would it?
No.
Wow. I
goodness.
mean, it's
Man, you're
none of
bringing
the
tough ones.
big time
Nice.
signings. It's none of the big time guys that you point to in these.
No.
Let's see. Yeah, was Jake Rodgers was left tackle. Wasn't he?
I thought he
Jake
was right
Rodgers?
tackle. I thought he was right
There's
tackle.
one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jake Rodgers. There we
There's
go.
one. Sheesh.
And I think you got to go even further back to
Backup
get.
right tackle is in my area of expertise.
Yeah, this other guy started
I feel you, Logan.
This other guy started Paxton Lynch's last game as a Bronco.
Oh, against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I got nothing.
Yeah, Garrett. By the way, Jake Rodgers did start at right tackle. That was
Okay.
correct.
Okay, right. Because
Bowles
Garrett
played
Bowles
that game.
only missed one game. Yeah. And that was a Calvin Anderson game.
Yeah, this other one I had forgotten about.
Give us
well,
a
Mase has forgotten about it.
give us
Okay.
initials.
CK.
Calvin
Chris
Klein.
Cooper.
CK.
Yeah.
I think I'm
All
gonna
right.
have to tap out, I think.
All right.
I know it's not Chris Cooper, but CK, so we'll go with that.
Cyrus Kawanja.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, the mountain.
Oh,
One of the biggest human beings I've ever met.
You could literally go fishing on one of his shoes.
I mean,
Wasn't he like a first-round pick out of Alabama or something too?
first or second
Yeah.
round pick. He was a high pick coming in, and of course, Zach knows all about him since he's a Crimson Tide guy. So
Yeah, I believe the second round pick with Buffalo, I think.
Yep. All right. Here's
Yeah,
another.
that sounds right.
Here's another
Man,
question.
All right.
And it's a number that's going to be the answer to this. How many regular season receptions
Okay.
has Sunshine Jordan Taylor had since leaving the Broncos?
Wow, kind of a non-Broncos question.
Zero.
Of course, you're throwing this in, Mace. I'm gonna go 0.
I don't even know if you gotten any. Wouldn't it be 0?
Correct. He hasn't even played in a game.
Logan got that first. Logan got that first. I heard him say it.
I heard. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
boo!
I said it
Yeah,
a
we
minute
gotta
ago,
give-
but then I
we
didn't get a
gotta give that
response. So I
to
didn't know if you heard me.
Yes. So we have a tiebreaker question. I always try to come prepared with 4 now. And we're going to go back to that 49er game in 2018. Of course, I mentioned that Chris Harris Jr. did not play that game because he was hurt. So
Isaac
who
Yiadom.
were the 2 Broncos starting cornerbacks that day?
Isaac Yiadom and Bradley Roby.
Correct.
Oh man, he was ready for that one.
You're too quick.
Yeah, I
Of course you
mean,
bring the
I
heat
thought,
whenever you can sneeze at. Come on.
well, Logan still gets another shot.
Yeah, Logan, I've got one for you here. If you can get this one, you
My
you
lifeline.
don't have to answer against anyone. You can automatically advance to face me in the second round. So here it is. With just 348 rushing yards, this player holds the record for fewest rushing yards by a Broncos yearly rushing leader. So 348 led the Broncos this year. Who was it?
This year?
No. In a year, 348 led the Broncos. Who
Oh, in that
was?
year. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Sorry.
I think I know.
Was that like Justin Forsett?
No, it wasn't. But I think that was a good guess.
Yeah.
No.
Zach, do you have your guess?
Peyton Hillis.
That is correct. That is correct. Peyton Hillis, fan
Wow.
favorite. I guess I always thought it was crazy that
That's
people
a little
liked
bit
him so
before my
much.
time.
Yeah. I always thought it was crazy that people liked him so much, but I guess he did lead the Broncos in rushing for a year.
Which is wild. I cannot believe that 348.
Interesting.
I mean, we could have given the hint to Logan, just Madden cover.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Madden League.
What happened was basically what's happening to the Nuggets
I
guards
was
right
thinking more
now.
recent.
Knock on wood. The Broncos had 7 injuries at running back that year.
Wow. Yep.
Yes.
That'll do it.
You have to with only 380 yards rushing or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Logan. Well, thanks for jumping in here, and good luck the rest of the season in the Madden League.
Thanks, Logan. Thanks for taking it easy on me.
Appreciate it. You guys stump me like you do in Madden.
Oh man.
Well, a little connectivity issues there. I think it might have been a disadvantage to him against Zach.
Yeah, I think so. I was on my game today. What can I say?
Do we want to set a rule if we're going to have guys jumping in? Do we want to set a rule like Jeopardy where you can't buzz in until the answer/question is read? Going forward, maybe we think.
I still don't think it would have helped him because he was on like a 4-second delay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. As always, we finish out here with a couple bonus questions for Mase. I had to pull from it there, so we just have 2 today. We'll start with this one. The Broncos' record for most career sacks is by a defensive back. Record for career sacks by a defensive back, 15. Who has it?
By a defensive back, 15. Wow. Okay, so it'd be since 82 here. All right, this is purely a guess. Dennis Smith.
That is a good guess and a correct guess.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Just figured sack rates were higher back in his day, and I do remember as a little kid that they liked to run him on the safety blitz quite a bit back then. Joe Collier used to like to do a lot of things with him.
Yeah, he was a freak. You know, Steve Atwater, obviously wins championships with the Broncos and kind of just builds his folklore. But Steve will tell you, no one will sing the praises of Dennis Smith more than Steve Atwater.
Steve thinks that Dennis should have a bust right next to his.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think Steve's wrong on that.
I don't
And guys, speaking of Steve and sacks, what's your guess for how many career sacks he has?
10.
10.
I was going to say 9.
9. Well, Ryan, if we're playing closest, is right. 5, guys.
That's it? Wow.
Yeah, he never had a double-digit sack season.
Man.
Double? You mean double? 2 sacks in one season?
Yeah, 2. Double. Double.
What's crazy is if you look at the pictures of Dennis Smith and Steve Atwater, because Steve is such a mountain of a man, and Dennis Smith makes him look smaller.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, last one here, Mase. The Broncos' record for career interceptions by a defensive lineman is 2. It's shared by 4 players. Name one of the 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. Again, Rulon Jones.
No.
Aw.
I'll give you 2 more
I've got-
guesses.
Okay.
Can I get one guess in?
Go for it,
can.
Zach.
Shelby Harris?
No, just one for him.
Oh, just
Mm.
one.
Trevor Price.
That is correct.
Okay.
Trevor
Oh,
Price,
nice.
Shane Dronette, Marcus Thomas, and Chester McLaughlin.
I mean, literally the only name that makes sense in terms of historically speaking is Price. I mean, who should be in the Ring of Fame as well. I don't know what the holdup is on Trevor, but I think the dude was an All-Pro, perennial Pro Bowler. Why he's not in the Ring of Fame, I have no clue.
Well, that's a shame. Chester
Yeah.
McLaughlin was my second guess.
I
Chester,
like Chester McLaughlin.
another huge human being.
Yes.
Rest his soul. He passed away a while ago. Probably had the thickest neck of any player I've ever covered. Dick Chester.
Yeah, man. He was a big boy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on here. Zach, why don't you transition us?
Guys, before we go any further, I got to tell you about our friends over at Gabby Insurance. Gabby, do we know what it stands for? Yes, we do. Get a better insurance. And that's what, I mean, it's literally in their name. Gabby Insurance is all about getting you guys a better insurance, specifically getting you the best insurance out there at the cheapest price. People that switch over to Gabby Insurance and use Gabby to help them get a better insurance save almost $1,000 a year on average. And our guy, Eric Weedham, D-Line Co, as you know him, saved $1,300. And guys, here's the thing. You can get these huge savings by taking just 5 to 10 minutes out of your day. I promise you, by the time this podcast is over, this live pod is over, you will have already saved that money if you go to Gabby.com/DNVR. That's GABI.com/DNVR. All you do is take 5 minutes, put in some information that you get off the top of your head, and it compares the top 40 insurance companies like Progressive, Nationwide, Travelers, and gets you the cheapest price. And guys, it just takes 5 or 10 minutes, and there's no downside because they will never sell your information. So make sure to check them out right now. Gabby.com/DNVR. That's GABI.com/DNVR.
So, guys, in the last week, Aaron Rodgers wanting out of Green Bay is actually the second biggest news. The biggest news is that Breckenridge Brewery is dropping the Lemonade Seltzy pack. Now, they've got 5 different flavors in here. Let's see if I can remember these. You've got original lemonade, lemon limeade, raspberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, and blueberry lemonade coming in this pack. I don't know if you guys have had some of the other brands lemonade seltzers, but I'm a big fan of these, especially on a hot day. I already was like planning on my summer being dominated by the original good companies. Now I'm gonna have to split time here, I'm forgetting
Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon.
That's good. I was gonna say
What is going on over there?
You okay, man? I mean, this is just
Wow, he's lost it.
you need to pick it up for you here.
We'll go with Javonte
Have you
and
had
Melvin.
some lemonades this morning, Ryan? Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a yes. That's a
You know, the funniest person in the room to Ryan right now is Ryan himself.
No, Allie's just laughing, cracking up at me, and it's making it impossible to focus. Yes, she did hook me up with some more coffee. That will help.
Ooh, some
I don't.
excited giggles. I can't wait.
I was saying like whatever you call it, like when parents get a divorce and they split custody. That's what I was going for.
Wow. You were laughing over split custody? Oh my
I was laughing
goodness.
over the fact that I couldn't remember what the hell I was trying to say. Getting older. But anyways, yeah, good company hard seltzer. Drink them so you can laugh at things like split custody.
Oh man. Do we want it to is there more or you want me to just go on with the next read?
Let's just move
right.
on here.
Let's just tell you about the perks of being a DNVR member. Of course, there's our members only Discord, so you don't have to worry about talking politics or jerks coming in messing up the conversation. You can talk with our staff in the Discord. You can also talk with diehard fans about Denver sports, diehard fans just like you. You become a DNVR member, you get to read our written content. You get a free DNVR shirt. You get weekly member deals from the DNVR Locker and with our partner. And if you come on over to the DNVR bar, you're going to get a big beer for the price of a smaller beer. And oh, by the way, you get a chance to hop on a live stream or a podcast. You could be the next to go into the red zone and test your trivia knowledge against Zach, RK, and yours truly. And guess what? We also have a new perk for the next 300 members. If you sign up to become an annual DNVR member, not only do you get your free shirt from the DNVR Locker, but you get a Recover Holistic Stick from Holistic Wellness. Holistic Wellness is all about the CBD. The stick will send you packs 10 milligrams of CBD, and this one is focused on recovery. All you do is pop the top of the stick, pour in any drink, stir, and consume. They are amazing. You want to find out just how good Holistic Stick is, go to the reviews at holisticwellness.com. That's HOLISTIK wellness.com. And guess what? They're offering our listeners 30% off their first purchase using the code DNVR30. So you can get an annual membership, free DNVR shirt, and a Holistic Stick with a coupon inside. It's a great deal. And use that DNVR30 code on the sampler pack to get 5 sticks of CBD for recovery, sleep, stress, beauty, and digestion. You can find out what works best for you. So head on over to thednvr.com today, become a member of the family, and check out that little bonus for becoming a member from holisticwellness.com.
Uh-oh, he's muted.
How did I get muted? I can't believe
you're a giggle monster.
I can't believe there's no one in the comments roasting me for that. All right, final order of business here today is the great serial draft. We always like to make sure that our final segment is extra serious, and this time it's serialist in the final segment. So I don't know what we have in terms of draft order. Do you guys remember the draft order?
I think I'm last.
I think I'm first today, guys.
All right, nice. I like being second.
And guys, I think this one landed perfectly to me because I did all of my research into this great serial draft, and this was the Trevor Lawrence of drafts, where there is just one guy that is clearly the favorite here. And so I'll just start it off here by the obvious pick, and tell me if I'm right. Going Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the #1 overall pick. I'll tell you what, guys, on everywhere you look, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the #1.
It's my #1 for, and I'm really sad that you got it here.
I'm sorry to you know what? And you can also drink the milk pleasantly after. It's just a great experience from start to finish. You just have what you have to do is you got to make sure that you eat quick, or that you do the pump and dump, where you're pumping it into your mouth and then you're dumping it into the bowl so it doesn't get too soggy.
Wait. You said
Excuse me?
What? You said pump and dump. I thought of something else. I'm really sorry.
I know what you probably thought of it. I just
I'm
wanted
like,
your attention.
Damn, Zach.
What, stocks? Is that what you thought he was talking about?
Yeah. Doge.
Doge. We're doging it up. All right. God.
Bitcoin is so yesterday, huh?
Yes, it's all about the Doge army these days. All right. I don't really know where I want to go with this pick, so I'm just going to go with a personal favorite of mine that is not sexy. I'm taking an offensive lineman here in the first round, but functional, a lot more healthy than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Still gets you that cinnamon taste. No, we're not drafting Raisin Bran. I'm going with Cinnamon Life. Cinnamon Life.
Oh, that's a really good one. A really good one. That is something that you can reach for every day.
Exactly. Looking for something functional here. Gonna need their help on in and out every play.
Is that the Quentin Nelson of the draft?
Yeah, exactly. Full on Quentin Nelson here. Future Hall of Famer. Best at the position, extremely high value, no reaching, just take the top player on the board.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, I can't believe you left this for me, but I mean, this is always in my pantry. Frosted Flakes.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Okay. Yep. Now, does Frosted Flakes fall into the category of Cinnamon Life, where you can go to it every single day, or is it more of the dessert type?
Dessert.
just because it's dessert doesn't mean I might not have it every day. I mean, I probably have it at least every other day. So
yeah, that's a good one. Those are staples for sure.
yeah, and then there's another one that's a staple, and this is just kind of at my house is Fruity Pebbles.
I
always
don't even
have that.
I don't even think Fruity Pebbles are the best pebbles.
Oh,
some people like cocoa.
What other pebbles are there? Chocolate pebbles?
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles.
But that's not what I'm taking here. Here, since I got a functional cereal in the first round, I'm going down Sugar Road here for the second round. You got to have the marshmallows. You got to go Lucky Charms.
Oh man, you're killing me, Ryan. You're killing me. Yeah, that's so growing up, I don't know if this is something that other families do. We would have the shredded wheats with no sugar on them or anything. We went healthy cereal, but for birthdays we would have birthday cereal where you got to choose any cereal of your choice and have it on your birthday, and as long as it would last after that. And my go-to was always Lucky Charms. So yeah, that's a top one in my book for sure. And now I'm on the clock, and guys, somehow my number 2 is sitting on the board right now, and I'm not gonna lie to you though. I've never had it, but doing my research, it just seems like it is clearly the number 2 cereal. So I'm going to rely on my research. Going to go Reese's Puffs.
Oh,
good choice.
Nice.
Yeah. So would you agree as someone who's never had it?
I like them. I don't love them. I like them. I don't love them. There's something about the peanut butter puffs that just don't hit. It doesn't hit right for me.
Oh, I think they hit very well. This was going to be my 3rd round pick. When you said it, I was a little bit disappointed. Zach, yeah, you took it from me.
Are we going?
It sounds like I reached. Draft? We going how many?
We're going 5 deep. That's how many spots we have here. I mean, my board is deep enough.
Oh, I could do 5 deep. Let's go 5 deep on this one, and I'll just hit my 3rd round pick right now, and I'm going to go with a classic, guys. I'm gonna go with my mom's favorite cereal, Cap'n Crunch.
No.
Oh, damn it!
Oh wow, the pain that I just endured, Ryan.
Oh gosh, I can't believe you took that from me. All right, I'm trying to keep a balanced breakfast here. Balance, we went functional, sugary. We're going back to functional. This is something that has that sweetness that you crave in the morning, but a lot of functionality here. A lot of, give you a lot of energies, different grains that you're going to need throughout the day. We're going Honey Bunches of Oats here. Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunches of Oats. Yeah, that's a good. And you go with the honey flavor, huh?
Yeah, you got it, and then you actually maybe drizzle a little extra honey on top of that.
Oh, you're killing me! Oh, that sounds good. It sounds like you're making an acai bowl.
An acai bowl.
Oh, and is that how? I'm always confused.
Acai, it is acai.
That may not even be the best honey cereal, Ryan. We'll see how this draft board plays out.
Yeah. If you're gonna choose Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm gonna have beef.
Are you're saying that would be the pick to tank it all?
Yes.
All right. Well, if I can't have Reese's Puffs, the next thing is the peanut butter crunch from Captain Crunch.
Interesting.
That's the best Captain Crunch cereal there is, with all respect to regular Captain Crunch.
Interesting. Never had it.
Oh, it's
but
amazing.
Captain Crunch can't be bad.
No. And then, yeah, I'm going. It's sugar bombs for me. I'm going to admit it here. I can't believe this is still on the board. Fruit Loops.
I don't like. I'm not a fruity cereal guy.
And it's FROOT Loops, by the way.
One of the best cereals I ever had growing up, though, was Fruit Loops. Kind of did a take on Lucky Charms, and they threw the marshmallows into the Fruit Loops, and that was like a can't miss right there.
Oh man. All right, with this one, Zach, you remember when we used to talk about grape nuts, the 7-minute soak?
Oh yes, I remember the soak.
Well,
Right along with the pump and dump.
these these are the opposite of that. You have 7 minutes or less to eat these, but if you can eat them efficiently, they are delicious. Again, maybe consider a little honey drizzle on the top of these. It's Rice Krispies.
Oh, yep. That's a great. You ever do the cut up banana in the Rice Krispies?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's a great pick right there. Great value pick. You can never go wrong with Rice Krispies. I love it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go. Don't know whether to go with the crowd or not. I'll go with one of my favorite. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm going Oreo O's here,
No.
guys. Oreo O's.
Stop drafting things you've never had.
I've never had these with milk. I have had them just, straight hand in the bag when I was older. This was when my girlfriend turned me on to. So Oreo O's there, and now I get another one. Do I want to go with just a solid cereal? No, I don't. Yes, I do actually. Give me Kix here, guys. I think this is one of like the all-time best underrated cereals. I hope I just didn't ruin my draft board here, but I love it. Now you don't get just a full sweet sensation with me.
What is Kix?
It's delicious is what it. They're little balls and
they're like
yeah.
They're just like brand balls.
Kicks are bad, to answer your question. Okay, kicks are bad.
Gosh, wow. Maybe I should have stuck with the sugar route then.
Man, I've got a tough pick here late in the draft. There's still some really. I mean, we could probably go 10 rounds on this.
Yeah, we could.
It's such a deep board. I think that this, I've never disliked these. I've never loved them. They do need about a 2 to 3 minute soak to make sure you're not getting some dryness in there. But I feel like, this is a good enough pick here late in the 5th round that some people might find this to be a great value pick. I'm going Frosted Mini Wheats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That one borders on the line of dessert or not. I don't think it's a dessert cereal, though, so I like that.
Yeah. On the board I'm reading here, our scouting report says 50% of it is awesome. 50% of it tastes like cardboard.
Well, that's what you do. You eat one half of it, or like you'll sometimes with Frosted Mini Wheats, I will just eat the sugar half of it.
Oh my gosh! What I do is you got to make sure the sugar side is down on your tongue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you just rub it back and forth to get it all off.
What are you doing?
That's why I had to have Kix once in a while, just to balance it all out.
I'm turning what you just did into a GIF.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
Oh my gosh.
At least we're not pumping and dumping here.
Oh, Jesus.
Gosh. All right. Last
End
one.
us, Mase.
Yes.
Literally end us.
You know what? There is a cereal out there that's still on the board that I think leaves behind the best milk, and that's Cocoa Krispies. And that's Krispies with a K. Kale. Sorry.
Why does it matter?
Well, we're gonna put this on Twitter. I mean, don't we want to have it spelled right?
Cocoa
Well,
Krispies.
we're all.
It's Cocoa with an A. COCOA.
I have beef with you guys. You went through 15 picks and didn't pick tricks. Like,
Tricks are
Yeah, Tricks
terrible.
tricks are for kids.
Tricks was close, but I went with
Exactly.
Kix instead.
Yeah, you took the worst version of Tricks or Kicks.
Oh.
Well, at least we've all got some good taste in milk here, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my choice. I'm like, there's like nothing healthy on there. It says a lot.
Yeah, and you came after us for not having functional enough Pop-Tart choices.
Seriously.
Some
Well, I
serious
feel-
hypocrisy coming out here.
Well, the thing is, my Pop-Tart choices were very heavy on the fruit, and I chose 2 fruity cereals. I guess I just like fruit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
I feel like Fruit Loop could be a good nickname for you.
I look
The
like
shirt kind of looks the part.
I look like
Right.
I'm wearing
Yeah.
a Fruit
Yeah.
Loop, a Fruit Loop shirt today. I mean, RK kind of does too, though. Well, nah, not really. There's no red on there, so
Yeah, he didn't go with the strawberry sky shirt today.
yeah,
No,
we're people are not happy that we did not have Cocoa Puffs on there, as we're seeing in the comments, and it was Cocoa Krispies or Cocoa Puffs, and I admit I like Cocoa Krispies better.
The Krispies are better. We
Yeah.
didn't go Cocoa Pebbles either.
No.
Right?
I would go Cocoa Krispies over both Cocoa Pebbles and Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Another one that we left off, guys. This one is one I never had, but Cookie Crisp. That was a big thing on the TV back in the day.
Back in the 80s, oh my gosh, that was firmly in the rotation at my house.
What was the French toast one?
French Toast Crunch. It's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's
Good.
it's the sibling of that.
My question about Cookie Crisp is, can you even consider it a cereal? Because it's just straight up miniature cookies.
It is.
It is not. There's nothing. They just took cookies and made them small. Like, that's all they did.
It passes. It's basically like mini Oreos, except the Oreos you're not putting milk on them, and the Cookie Crisp you are.
Yep.
That's a great point, Kale. You're exactly right.
Someone said no corn pops. Funny thing about corn pops, their layer of sugar that protects the cereal is so dense that the milk can't even penetrate. They stay dry the whole time.
You're right, which is fantastic, right? Isn't that what you want? You want a cereal that can last through the 7-minute soak.
You got to make sure you have a spoon with some depth to it, so you can make sure you get a good amount of milk when you get the corn pops in there.
So that when your teeth crunch the outside protective layer, the milk can infiltrate as you're eating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the people upset that all of these picks didn't go on the board just shows you how deep of a board it was. One of the probably the deepest draft of anything we've done yet.
Yeah, it really was. Like you said, we could keep Apple Jacks wasn't on there. There were a lot.
What was that?
Honey Smacks. You guys ever have those?
Oh, I remember. Oh my God. How many cereals are there?
Many dozens.
Guys, we live in America. Cereal's like the entire aisle here. What are you?
That's true.
Yeah. Golden Grams we didn't even put in there.
Oh.
Yeah. We could do just healthy cereals one day. That would be a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do no healthy cereals.
No healthy. I like it. It's got to have like 10 milligrams of sugar or grams of sugar per bite.
Exactly. Honey Nut Cheerios never went off the board. That makes me happy.
Yeah. I almost did just to spite you, but I didn't want to lose my board, so instead I tried losing it with Kicks. But at least I went with something that I like.
I can't wait to see you get roasted for drafting Kicks. Wait, can we see the board one last time?
No is the answer. The answer is no. Guys, here we go.
There it is. There it is.
So who do we think wins? I'm going with myself.
I think you think you lost a lot. Like Oreo O's has a cult following of like 90s kids, which should hit pretty well on Twitter.
That's that.
Kicks though like alienates that same group of people.
Oh, no.
Mine, I feel like I have the most balanced roster here, but balance doesn't always win in these things.
I think I've got the draft that's just nothing but guys in the passing game. I've got a quarterback, a couple of receivers, and a pass catching tight end. Completely unbalanced, but it's sexy.
So you're going for the 7-on-7 crowd.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have a nice balance of straight sugar, fruity sugar, and like chocolatey sugar.
Yeah, Ryan, I think you're gonna get all the parents here to vote for you because they're gonna say, you know what, we let our kids dive into the frosted mini wheats and Lucky Charms occasionally, but we're also getting them the cinnamon life and the Rice Krispies.
Cinnamon Life is goated. I will die on this hill.
Yeah, it is fantastic, guys. Speaking of Lucky Charms, when you eat Lucky Charms, am I the only one who refuses to eat a marshmallow until all of the other cardboard pieces are gone, and then at the end you're just eating spoonfuls of marshmallow?
That's the most Zac thing I've ever heard.
No, I do it too.
It's the only way to go, Mase.
I have like a collection of now I'll kind of work them in sometimes, but I'll end my bowl with like 20 marshmallows left.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. So RK, you're actually the odd one out here.
Yeah.
I never said. Well, first of all, I don't do it, but I just said it's the most Zac thing ever. So you guys basically like eat your meal and then you have dessert.
Yeah, exactly. And I get very upset if I were to happen to have one marshmallow among all of the cardboard pieces.
I just personally, I like to cut the cardboard with the marshmallows to make sure it doesn't taste as bad.
As it probably should be eaten, I'm sure.
Yeah, someone mentioned that at one point Lucky Charms just released a straight marshmallows one, and that might be the most offensive attempt at cereal ever.
Oh my gosh, that is tremendous.
Well, cereal has to be has some grain in it, right? I mean, that's why. So it wasn't cereal; it was just marshmallows in milk.
It's
wow.
True.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about French Toast Crunch. Man, that was good stuff. That was good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so. A good French toast is impossible to beat.
I agree. I'll have to tell you about my secret French toast spot.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
Can't have all the Denver bros knowing about it and going there trying to. There's no like bottomless mimosas at this place. It's just
there's not like a 2-hour line or anything.
No line ever.
Wow.
Look, it's basically going to be you and 4 people in their 90s in the restaurant.
So those people know what's up.
Yes, they've been keeping it going for years.
That sounds delicious. I want it. I'll be the only one with teeth there.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're going to eat all the cereal that we just mentioned, you're going to need to go down to Green Mountain Dental Group immediately. So make sure you hit them up and schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. When you do, you can get a free Sonicare toothbrush. It's a free Sonicare toothbrush when you hit up the people down at Green Mountain Dental Group. Again, if you're going to be crushing Lucky Charms and Cocoa Krispies and Captain Crunch with, what were those called? The berries?
Yeah.
Crunch berries.
Had a name. Crunch berries. Yes, of course. Captain Crunch with Crunch berries. You got to go see our friends at Green Mountain Dental Group. They will treat you like family because they're part of the DNVR family. They supported us throughout the entirety of the pandemic. They mean a lot to us. So head down to Green Mountain Dental Group and fix your teeth that are messed up from eating all that cereal. But for now, that's going to wrap up another edition of Ring Circus. We appreciate Ben Allbright for joining us. And, of course, Logan, who gave a valiant effort in the red zone, and you too. But for us, that's going to wrap it up this week. We'll talk to you next week on the DNVR Broncos podcast.